Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion. Today I need to have a conversation with you guys. If you're new to the channel, please hang in there because you might be looking to purchase a Q50 or Q60 in the future. For some of my old subscribers, I need you guys to comment in the comments below because I know y'all all have your own personal experience with this car. But in the forums, this argument goes on all day, every day within the last year. What is better? 3.7 V6 from the Q50 or the 3.0T VR30 for the Q50. We're not really speaking about the Q60 model because y'all guys don't have that different transitional phase of motor. Y'all have the old G37 motor to the newer body style Q60. But with us, we have that argument between the 2014 and 2018s. So what information I want to share with you guys is should you purchase the 3.7 or should you purchase the 3.0T? Now, this video won't be about leasing or anything like that. That's a lot different. We're talking about if you went out and got a financed used one, 3.0T from 2016 and up, or you went and got a 3.7 from 2014 and 2015. I've had both cars. So let's just jump right into it. First thing, out the gate, I've always loved VQ motors from my VQ30 Maxima to my 3.5 to my 3.7, and now I have the 3.0T. So for me to share my personal experience, and this is not about the car necessarily itself, this is just having that motor and living with it and doing slight modifications. 1, 3.7 does not have as much potential as the 3.0T. It just can't win against it because the 3.0T is a twin turbo V6 motor. Okay, guys, before you guys try to jump on me, come on, let's just be honest. Doesn't have as much potential. But let me be fair. If you guys went out and purchased the premium or the silver sports from 2016 to 2018 and up, those are the 300 horsepower detuned red sport motors. There's really no difference between the red sport motors and the regular 3.0T motors other than one extra water pump for the heat exchanger and of course the tune. The factory tune, and also the turbine sensors for the turbos. But otherwise, other than that, those motors are exactly the same. So if you guys had a chance of going out and purchasing 2016 3.0T and up, or a 3.7 2014 and up, my recommendation out the gate, if you want a daily car, something that you're not beating on, it's just regular daily driver car. I honestly like the fact that with the 3.7, I could rev that mother. I'm just saying, I could rev that all the way to red line. Like, that car takes a beating, guys. I'm talking about a beating. That 3.7, I beat on it bad. I'm talking about, you guys, the turbo guys won't really understand. But there's something about redlining the car and knowing nothing's going to break. I changed the oil, did all the maintenance to the car, and the car had no issues. And I'm talking about, this is my 2015. My recommendation, now comparing to the 3.0T that I have now, the 2018 Silver Sport, but it's pretty much the 2016 up Silver Sport, it's a 300 horsepower version. I find that I don't really feel comfortable beating on the car. And it's not because the car is new. I realize that when you beat on the 3.0Ts and up, the mid-range is like where the most amount of torque is. But anything after about 4,000, 4,500 RPM, the car feels like it starts to fall in his face. Now, I know you guys are going to sit there and say, oh, you could just go get a tune. No, we're talking about the car in stock form right now. It's torquey right in the middle range, but after that, it just falls off. And I realized on the highway, the 3.7, let's just say 65 miles an hour and up in Mexico, you could just redline that's, I want to curse on YouTube, but you just redline it and just beat on it, and the car will just take it. But the turbo ones, it just seems like it just keep falling on its face. Now, if you're going to get a used red sport now, compared to a 3.7, totally different. Sorry 3.7 guys, y'all my brothers. But I'm going to go with the red sport over the regular 3.7. It just has more torque, has more power. It's just more fun. Once again, I still feel like you don't really need to beat on the Red Sports or 3.0T because you get the torque low end, but just higher up in the RPM range, it's just the car doesn't feel as good as it should be. Also, when you keep bidding on your 3.0T and your Red Sports, guess what's gonna happen? Heat soak. That's when the heat exchangers are gonna get hotter and hotter because of the coolant, so it can't keep the IATs or the charge air temperature down. So you're gonna lose more and more power when you keep beating on the car more and more. But I realized with the 3.7, that is non-existent. Non-existent. Now, for some of my new subscribers and people who watch this video right now, let's go into modifying the 3.7 or modifying the VR30 Silver Sports Premiums and Red Sports. So, from my own personal experience and just jumping into the VR30 world, and also having a 3.7 with exhaust and test pipes and all that stuff. Now, I didn't have a supercharger, but I did the basic bolt-on mods. What I've got to say is, price, like per dollar per horsepower, the VR30 will be the more incentive. Reason being is you have certain devices you can use, such as a JB4. You can check my channel for the JB4 stuff. Also, you have tunes that are out for the VR30 motor where you can put out 420 to the wheels on 19 PSI, close to 500 pounds of torque on pretty much a complete stock car. You don't have to touch anything else. There's other little things you can do to the car, like exhaust, intakes, and all that stuff. Really nice things that make the car powerful. To be honest, at this current moment, AMS has a high fuel pressure pump out where you should, and also you can also switch over to a low pressure fuel pump, like a Walboro fuel pump, where if you invest, let's say, about $3,000 to $4,000 into a VR30, you can put out close to 500 wheel horsepower. This is currently at this moment. This is August. Oh, yeah, this is August 13th of 2018. So that's great out of a freaking family sedan, right? $3,000 invested, you can be pretty much putting out close to 500 wheel horsepower. That's on an aggressive tune. Of course, there's other little things you can add into it, like lower downpipes and stuff. But let's just say out the gate at this moment, close to 500. That's great. But to be fair, the 3.7, yes, I have to change my voice. The 3.7, when you supercharge that girl and you put a 14-pound pulley, you get a proper tune, you switch over to larger injectors to run E85, you run a larger fuel pump so you can have a higher fuel rate and fuel load. I'm seeing 500 to 600 wheel horsepower on a pretty much stock 3.7 liter. This is a supercharged one. And there's a difference between supercharging and turbo. Because everyone keeps thinking, all right, well, usually, guys, a turbocharged car would beat a supercharged car. But it depends on the vehicle. The thing is, with the supercharged V6 3.7, it makes its most wheel horsepower at the highest RPM. Because remember, as the RPMs go higher, it's building more and more boost. It's not losing it. The supercharger is spinning faster. So this 550, 600 wheel is close to its highest RPM. Now, like I said it earlier in the video, right? With the VR30 motor, after 4,500 and 4,500 and up, it loses wheel horsepower and it loses torque. Now, you can go with an aggressive tune, but these turbos are so small that their efficiency is pretty much maxed out after 4,500 RPM. You can try your best and lean out the mixture at higher RPM, but and put full downpipes and exhaust, but once it's out of its efficiency range, it just can't keep up. So you're comparing a car, yeah, you might get 500 wheel at 4,500 RPM, but this E85 Supercharged 3.7 is putting out 500, 550, 600 wheels at higher RPM. And when you're doing road races, that's what matters. Those higher RPMs, you need to put out consistent torque and wheel horsepower at higher RPMs. So I got to give it to the 3.7. But money invested into supercharging 3.7 is a lot more expensive. For about $10,000, you can get a STILLEN supercharger kit, get the smaller pulley. You're going to have to get larger injectors. A few other little bolt-ons and stuff to add on from the fuel and get it tuned. But all in all, once you get all that stuff done, you're going to have a pretty solid V6 car out there. And I mean, I would wish that I would have supercharged my 3.7, but it was just more cost efficient without having to dibble and dabble and trying to figure stuff out to just get the 3.0T. And that gets to my other point. Which one's just easier to get to the power? The 3.0T is just easier to deal with. You just literally could buy a JB4 and add a power. You can get a tune and add power. Shoot, just installing lower downpipes with exhaust compared to test pipes and exhaust on the 3.7, you gain power. The turbos breathe way easier. So you untuned, your car literally gains power by flowing up the exhaust. Same thing does happen for the 3.7, but you're talking about 10 wheel horsepower with test pipes and maybe full exhaust untuned, compared to 20 to 30 to even maybe 40 wheel horsepower with lower downpipes and exhaust on a Red Sport 3.0T. Guys, think about this, man. I'm a hard knock fan of the 3.7. It can take a beating. But I wanted you guys to tell me what you think. Like, there's definitely a lot of Q50 3.7s out there. I'm not talking about the 370Zs. I'm not talking about the G37s. I'm only talking about this platform with the 3.7. I know what the 370Zs are doing on the track. I know what the G37s are doing on the track, because those cars are coupes. They're different design. They even got limited slip differentials and all this other nonsense going on. And it comes 6-speed. I'm talking about the Q50 right now, 2014, 2015, 3.7 supercharged versus a fully tuned bolt-on VR30. Even possibly running E85 or 93 E30 mix. It's just easier to get to the power. The tuners could do more with the turbo car now, and plus it's a growing market. So as of right now, I got to give it to the 3.7 liter supercharged, because it's just, as a highway car, it should be better. I'm not talking about out the kit right up from STILLEN. I'm talking about when you modify the kit to make more power, it's good. It's a better. I'd take it as the better car. But if you want to talk about, let's say, digs, when we're doing from, pretty much light tree lights, drag racing in Mexico, of course, I got to give it to the VR30. It's just, it builds boost off the line way easier. You can brake boost, you can tune it. It puts out a whole lot of torque low end. It takes off like a freaking rocket. So I believe that both of these motors have both their weaknesses and hiccups. Oh, you guys might want to talk about reliability. I don't want to have any problems with Infiniti. So all I'm going to say is, from the forums, from what I read, some of the early model 2016 3.0Ts do have they could have a stuck direct injector. It might be stuck open. You might have those issues. On some earlier models, the misaligned AC belt, there's like a misaligned AC bracket or something like that, where the accessory belt will shred, and pretty much that can destroy the motor if you keep driving it and it warps it out. But that does happen to a few people. It is a service bulletin for it out with Infiniti, but it's not a recall because it's only affecting a small group amount of cars. Everything else read, otherwise than that, no one else really had any real crazy issues with the car. With the 2014s, when they came out, the 3.7, they had an ABS transmission code, but usually something with like the ABS sensors need to be changed. But all in all, the 3.7s really didn't have no issues with the engine and transmission. And that, lastly, let me just finish it off on the freaking transmission. Pretty much, they did change up the transmission in the 2016s and up Red Sports and 3.0Ts to handle more torque. So it's not necessarily the same transmission, but it's still a basic torque converter 7-speed transmission. It's still a bit laggy. Comparing both in the car, I do feel like the transmission on the 2016 and up are a bit more responsive. But compared to a BMW ZF transmission, it's still freaking back in the day crap. But all in all, know that both cars have their specials in one place. 3.7 supercharged, give it to highway racing. In Mexico, of course. And if it's a 3.0T, give it from digs. That car does great from digs. It eats a lot of high-end cars from digs. But road racing, done. Falls flat on its face from 4,500 and up. Yes, you can tune it to be a little bit better, but you can only do so much on small turbos. So otherwise, guys, I hope this video was informative. If you're looking to purchase a Q50 3.0T or 3.7, if you just want to get the car in stock form, to be honest, I would give it to the 3.7. But if you want to buy one of the cars and beat on it and pretty much modify it, I would give it to the 3.0T, just because it's already turbo. It's already need what it has to get done engineered. You don't have to buy a supercharger and then get all the knickknacks done about it. All right, guys? So I appreciate you guys for watching this whole video. I just wanted to sit there and talk to you about this bashing that keeps going back and forth between us, guys. But tell me, guys, what you think in the comments. What's your favorite motor, 3.7 or the 3.0T? And this is me from Boost Emotion. You guys have an amazing day.